Northern Australia. Burning sun, hot wind. The grasslands are dry and cracked like earth. From above, the helicopter roars, tearing the hot air. Below, millions of buffalo are moving, black and chaotic, like a flood of life across the savanna. They were introduced by humans in the 19th century for agriculture. Now they are out of control, making them the most dangerous invasive species in Northern Australia. The sound of helicopters echoed in the fiery sky. On the ground, dust flew everywhere. Buffaloes ran wild. The war began between humans and the animals they brought. And now, no one can control it anymore. Between humans and nature, the boundary is only a stroke of a trigger. Subscribe to the channel now to not miss the dramatic moments of life and death. Wild buffaloes are descendants of prehistoric giants. They once walked the land of Asia when humans had no knowledge of ploughing. From Indonesia, they were brought to Australia in the 19th century, only a few thousand. Domesticated for ploughing, transport, clearing wasteland. The wild instincts of wild buffaloes never sleep. When humans leave, they return to their roots free. From a few thousand, now more than 500,000, overflowing through the grasslands, swamps, river flooding like black flood of the old forest. Every step makes the land sink, the water muddy, robbing the food of native species, and carrying leptospirosis, brucellosis epidemics spreading throughout the region. From the vestiges of prehistoric times, now they are invaders of the present. Strong, unruly. Dawn glowed red on the northern Australian plains. The wind was stinging. Hunter gripped his gun. His eyes were glued to the dust ahead. Then it appeared, a giant buffalo. Its skin was dark, its horns curved like scythes. Its heavy breath mixed with the smell of mud and burning Sunday. Each step shook the ground as if its heart were beating underground.
Looks good. It looks good.
Good. Here.
Hunter held his breath. Boom! The gun went off. Smoke billowed. The buffalo stopped, roared deeply. The sound echoed like the breathing of the forest. Then it collapsed. Heavy, slow. Hunter approached the buffalo's eyes, deep, dull, but shining like a dying flame. There was power in that look. There was primitive wildness, but also filled with heartbreaking pain.
You used enough gun.
It lay there, trembling, breathing heavily. Its eyes looked at the human.
Okay, reload. Shoot him again.
That look made the hunter silently bow his head, because he understood. He was not an enemy, but a victim of the world created by humans.
He ran 30-40 yards and...
Take your time. Wait. Hit him. Excellent. Okay, come with me. Okay, wait. Come with me.
But why do they become like that? Do they really want that? In the top end of northern Australia, buffalo have become a real nightmare. Damages amount to more than 80 million USD a year. The government is forced to spend tens of millions of dollars on helicopters, traps, and hunting teams.
They're breaking right, push them back.
But despite the sound of gunfire across the savannah, the war is still not over between humans and the animals they once brought. Buffalo breed rapidly and are difficult to control. The wet season arrives, November to April. If conditions are favourable, buffalo can breed year-round. Their gestation period is approximately 10-11 months. A small herd can double in size in just a few years. Buffalo have become the living flood of northern Australia. Strong, wild, and unstoppable.
As I said, it's only a few.
While wild buffaloes wreak havoc in the north, Asian elephants have quietly become a new threat. They were introduced in the 1982 for tourism and circuses, as symbols of gentleness and strength. But then a few escaped. From there, a small population formed, wandering through the rainforest and ranching on the northern border. Causing more than 10 million USD in damage each year. The government must intervene, implement urgent control programs. Otherwise, the elephant, once a symbol of tourism, will become the next giant invader of Oceania. Do you dare to enter the world of hunters where every gunshot carries a heartbeat and life and death? Subscribe to the channel now to not miss the dramatic hunts. The rainforests of northern Australia were damp and heavy. The sound of insects echoed like a whisper in the forest. Hunter walked slowly through the mud, rifle slung over his shoulder. Sweat mixed with the smell of mud and damp earth.
Reload.
Before him, Agien Elephant. Every step it took shook the ground.
Shoot again.
The hunter held his breath, his heart pounding. The scope vibrated with each heartbeat. Hunting elephants is not easy. Just one mistake. The man fell, not the beast.
I'm trying to focus on a good target.
We're not going to shoot him unless he makes us.
Good shot, he's down. Come on, let's move up.
A loud roar. The ground shook.
Okay.
Keep your distance, the hunter shouted, squeezing the trigger. Boom. Smoke billowed. The sound of birds shattered in midair. The elephant stopped, roared miserably, then collapsed in a shower of dust and falling leaves. The hunter looked into the eyes that were closing. There was strength, fear, and pain.
We can get up on, but we're just going to get up
Both
on.
look big.
They're huge bodies, yeah. Take him. Shot. Okay, come up. Shot, good shot. Right between the eyes. A little bit low between. Too low. Shoot again. Okay, come up. Whoa, stop. Come up on him.
The Australian government launched a campaign to hunt and control invasive elephants in the north. Some were captured and brought to reserves. Where the forests were fenced, the water was monitored, and the scent of humans was always present. Others were relocated to remote islands, separated from grasslands and human farms. Some wanted to preserve, to keep the wild spirit of the forest. Others wanted to control, to protect crops and human lives. Between these two lines, the question still echoed. Where is the limit between compassion and survival? Wild buffalo. They are strong and numerous, ferocious like a black flood sweeping through the grasslands. Elephants, huge, intelligent, but slow and difficult to adapt to strange lands. A species that reproduces endlessly carries mud and destruction. A lonely species, intelligent but lost in the human world. Both, two sides of the power of nature, both majestic and fragile, and humans, the ones in the middle, must learn to understand. Because every time we intervene, nature responds with the very power we once admired.
Good shot. Good shot. Again.
From buffalo to elephants, both are called invaders. But in reality, they are victims of history. They did not choose to leave the forest. They did not choose to be a threat. They are just living by the instincts that humans have inadvertently created. Humans brought them here. Then they left. And now humans are paying the consequences. From buffalo to elephant. The journey is a series of collisions between humans and nature, between power and consequences. We have seen each invasive species carries its own human story. So what do you think? Should we eliminate them or learn to live together? Leave a comment, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next battles for survival, where the boundary between humans and wild is still being written. Amidst the seemingly perfect canopy of South Africa's nature, a silent threat is spreading. In recent years, the country has faced its biggest challenge from invasive animals, especially the uncontrolled outbreak of wild monkeys. They are intelligent, agile, and increasingly reckless. Can humans coexist peacefully with them, or will this be the new war between nature and man? What do you think? At first, people only saw a few monkeys lurking on rooftops or in cornfields. But soon, they appeared everywhere in groups, destroying crops, snatching fruits, and tearing rice bags right before the eyes of farmers. For millions of people who depend on agriculture, it is a real nightmare. Not only do they take away their livelihoods, they also recklessly attack people, break into houses, ransack belongings, and spread fear throughout villages. In the eyes of South Africans, wild monkeys are no longer animals but real enemies. In the face of an escalating threat, as wild monkeys turn their fields into battlefields, the biggest question is, what will South Africans do to reclaim their lives?
Oh, he's got your bag!
Will they fight or find a way to coexist with these intelligent and cunning creatures? Watch today's video as we explore the bold measures and unexpected strategies being deployed to restore the balance between humans and nature.
And they're growing.
According to the latest report from the California Department of Environmental Protection, a threat is quietly spreading as more and more wild monkeys appear, moving between residential areas, parks, and farms. There are now more than 5,000 individuals recorded, but that number is just the tip of the iceberg. With a dizzying reproductive rate and incredible adaptability, experts warn, if not controlled in time, in just a short time, they could double in number, turning California into an unwanted monkey kingdom of humans. At first, people thought they were just a few harmless wandering monkeys, but then fields began to be devastated. Fruit trees were stripped bare, granaries were ransacked, and screams rang out in the early morning. Not only that, they brought with them invisible dangers, dengue fever virus, rabies, and a series of other pathogens. Their excrement flowed into streams, polluting water sources, threatening the health of the entire community. The monkeys have now become a serious ecological threat that is both clearly present and potentially dangerous to human health and the environment. Moreover, wild monkeys can become aggressive and attack humans. At first, only a few monkeys recklessly approached humans, but soon they started to attack for real. Screams rang out as their claws scratched the skin, leaving wounds that were at risk of infection. On the streets, monkeys rushed out unexpectedly, causing unimaginable accidents. They climbed electric poles, damaged cameras, even jumped on car roofs, snatched bags of food in broad daylight. It was no longer a prank, it was real chaos between the city and the wild forest. With each passing harvest season, California farmers sigh once more. The fields that were once laden with fruit are now left with only footprints and the shrill cries of wild monkeys. Uprooted trees, devastated crops, and ruined barns all add up to a horrifying figure: more than 75 million USD in damage each year. But the most painful thing is not the money, but the effort and sweat of the people that are swept away overnight. In the midst of that helplessness, they can only look up to the sky, praying that the monkeys will stop coming once again. Faced with a storm called wild monkeys, South African farmers are forced to stand up to protect their crops. But they are not alone. Wildlife experts are also involved with a strategic control plan. Among the devastated fields, traps are set, tranquilizer guns are prepared. The goal is not to destroy, but to control and temporarily subdue them to remove them from residential areas, restoring the fragile boundary between humans and nature. In the blazing midday sun, cage traps were cleverly placed along the edge of the forest, where monkeys often come to find food. On the traps, golden bananas, ripe mangoes, and sweet papayas exuded an alluring scent. Each curious monkey approached, eyes darting, arms reaching out. And in a split second, bang, the iron door closed, a shrill cry echoed in the harsh sunlight. The hunter approached from afar, his eyes cold but restrained, completing his mission in the war between humans and nature.